everyone, thank you for joining me. So today let's move through a yin and yang practice to embody the divine, feminine and masculine and find balance between. So we'll begin finding a comfortable seat. So just rolling those shoulders down, relaxing, straightening the spine. And just bringing the palms into the heart center. If your eyes are not closed already, gently float those shut. And just coming into this intention of cultivating balance. Just taking a moment to connect into how you're feeling in this moment. Noticing what's happening in your breath, in your body. And breathing this intention of cultivating balance into your heart space. Together, just take a deep breath into the heart. Gently releasing the exhale through the mouth. When you're ready to, releasing the palms, gently blinking the eyes open. Okay, so let's begin on our backs. Just come to find, come to lay down on your back and come and find Shavasana or corpse pose. So just for a moment, I just want you to take a few moments to connect into your body as you find your corpse pose. Softening your whole body, softening your breath. And just allowing your body to be held. And sinking deeper into the ground with each breath. So today's practice, we'll start off with a few yin postures, embodying the divine feminine. And then we will move into a flow. And just working on our balance. So let's begin our first pose. Let's bend into the left knee, keeping the right leg extended. Place the sole of the foot onto the mat, and maybe if it feels good to you, you can lift up the pelvis and then just tilt it onto one side. So you're coming to rest back onto your right hip and then guide that left knee across your body. So we're coming into the reclined twist. You can take a block and place it underneath the knee if the knee doesn't come all the way to the ground. You can extend the left arm, and if it feels comfortable to you, turn the head the opposite direction to the knee. As you find your pose, coming into your first edge, just begin to connect into the sensations. And just scanning through your body, noticing what feels tight, what feels tense, what feels like it needs special attention. And finding stillness in your pose. Start to become conscious and aware of your breath. Maybe guiding your breath into the areas of tension. So you can really feel as though you're expanding into the resistance through your breath. And just coming into this state of allowing. Just relaxing your whole body and allowing it to be pulled towards the center of the earth. So just allowing gravity to do its thing. So maybe notice if you can feel some tingling, big sort of like butterflies underneath your skin. Just a few more breaths. Is there anything else you can let go? And slowly, just coming back to center, coming back into your corpse pose, Shavasana. If it feels better to you, you can keep the knees bent. Just come and find stillness in your rebound pose. So in between the yin postures, we take a minute to allow the effects of the pose to integrate. Still in stillness, just observing, noticing all that you're experiencing. Maybe just notice if one leg feels different to the other. And let's take it over to the other side. So bending into the right knee, maybe lifting the pelvis off the mat, so pressing into the sole of the right foot and tilting to the left side, coming onto your left hip. Keeping that left leg extended, we'll take the right knee up and over your body. And the option here to extend the right arm and maybe turn the neck, only if it feels good to you. So in any of these postures, you can use as many props as you need to support your body. What I'd really like you to be doing right now is completely let go. So that means complete relaxation. Whilst you're in a position that isn't necessarily comfortable, can you lean into that discomfort? Soften and let go. Remember, whatever you're experiencing, it's just a sensation. It means nothing about you. It means nothing about your body. You're just observing. Try to take a step back. Or maybe even observing yourself from the space above your body. So none of this is personal. doesn't define you. You're simply observing the movements, the sensations, the emotions, the thoughts, without attachment to needing it to change or be anything else. In complete surrender and acceptance. A few more breaths now. Just scan your body. What do you feel? Notice when your mind is attaching. Notice when it becomes analytical. And maybe your mind drifts away with the thoughts. Come back to your breath, to your body, to this space. Good. Slowly, we're going to escape the pose. Releasing any props or blocks. Mindfully coming back to center, coming back into your Shavasana. So again, you can keep the knees bent if that feels better to you. Or you can extend the legs, bring the arms down by the sides, and wherever you are, come into stillness. Still observing. And we'll flip over onto our bellies. So maybe just bringing the knees into the chest, rocking over onto one side, and just making your way onto your belly. So we're going to come into our Sphinx Pose. So a few variations here. If it's not comfortable for you, you can always take a block or cushions and lean onto it like so. In fact, I'm going to stay here because it feels quite nice. So the other options are also to stack up the blocks and place underneath your forehead. The knees or the feet are as close or as wide as is comfortable for you. If the blocks don't work, you can also just interlace the fingers and rest your chin. So feet wide, close. Just find that space where you're feeling something. The target area in this pose, in the Sphinx pose, would be the lower back. So you should feel a deep compression in the spine. And the front of the body. So if you're feeling anything in the front of the body and in the lower back, then you're doing the pose. Just come to that appropriate depth where you're experiencing a level of discomfort, but not too much, because you want to be able to hold the pose and remain in complete stillness. So just allowing that time, allowing gravity to do its thing. Your job is to simply remain still and observe. So the difference between the yin and the yang, the feminine and the masculine. feminine, the yin, is all about accepting. The yang wants to change the world, whereas the yin allows the world to be. Notice when the sensations intensify, or maybe they move location in your body. Whatever's going on, try not to allow the mind to make up some story, bring in some narrative. I just simply want you to observe, that's all. In stillness, in silence. Relax all your muscles. So notice if you're holding onto your shoulders, just let that go. And where you feel that deep compression, base of the spine, breathe into it. Few more breaths. You can remain here, or for those who want to take it a little bit deeper, we'll remove our props, and from the Sphinx Pose we'll come into the seal pose. So placing the palms onto the mat, you can walk them towards your hips to whatever depth is comfortable for your back. So again, here you can slump into the shoulders, look into the elbows, so you can just hold yourself there. Stay with your breath. Simply allowing the time to pass. Allowing whatever is arising for you, body, mind, and soul. And with each breath, becoming softer, becoming more open, and surrendering. Good. So slowly now we'll start to escape the pose. If you have any blocks or anything like that, just remove those. If you're on the seal pose, come onto your elbows. And then from here, place the palms underneath the shoulders. We're going to just lift ourselves up, tuck the toes, lift yourself up, and then sit back into a child's pose. You can either keep the toes tucked, maybe you want to bring a block or a cushion, place it underneath the head, and just find that child's pose, find your resting position here. Guiding your breath into your back, observing as the sensations soften and eventually dissipate. So remaining in your child's pose for a few more breaths. And whilst you're here, let's start to deepen that breath. So if you're familiar with the Ujjayi breath, you can start to practice that now. Otherwise, I will guide you through. So bringing your awareness into the pelvic floor, the Uddiyana Bandha, the Mula Bandha, the lower abdominals. Gently squeeze those in and up. Breathe deeply in and out through the nose. And as you keep hold of the lower abdominals, so the core is active, deep breathing. Maybe you can count your breaths, breathing in to a count of 4 or 5, breathing out to the same count. As you breathe through the nose, imagine you have a small hole in the back of your throat, in your neck. And even though you're breathing through the nose, it sort of feels like you're breathing through the throat. And with the back of your tongue, you can constrict the space just slightly, enough to create this soothing sound. So this sound is giving your mind a point of focus. It's calming for the mind, the Ujjayi breath. And it's energizing your body. So your body is getting heated up from the inside out. Continue with your breath. Continue to keep the bandhas active, so the pelvic floor, the lower abdominals, deep breathing. And then when you're ready, we're going to place our palms forward and lift up onto our hands and our knees. So continuing with the breath, so we'll start to move now. Let's just begin by circling the hips. So just do whatever feels good for you here. Just reintroducing some movement into our bodies. You can imagine you're trying to draw a large circle on your mat, the tip of your belly button. Maybe you move with the breath. Maybe on the inhale you come over the wrists. As you exhale and breathe all the air out, you're bringing the buttocks towards the heels. Just soft, subtle movements. Just listening to your body, notice what it wants to do. So as we transition here, slowly from the yin into the yang, we're beginning to reintroduce a little bit of control to our breath and to our body, so the alignment comes in. Coming back to stillness, let's just extend the left leg. So just tucking those toes, left leg extended, shoulders over the wrists. And what tends to happen is we're just sort of looking into our elbows. Can you press into the fingertips and press the floor away, engage the pelvic floor, draw the belly button in. And then from here, we're going to lift the left leg. Good. And then opposite right arm towards the top of the mat. Find a gaze. So again, control your gaze. Just staring softly at a spot. Nice strong abs, and exhale. Let's release the right palm, and then we'll place the foot onto the mat. And then inhale, reach the left arm all the way up, gazing up towards the fingertips. Maybe this is enough for you. Pressing firmly into the shins, into the knee, lifting the hips, and maybe let's take that left arm over our ear. Breathing deeply still. And then on the next exhale, let's release the palm back onto the mat. Come back to all fours. Just take a moment before you extend the right leg. Just tucking the right toes, just staying here. Let's take it step by step. Check the palms are underneath the shoulders. And then from here, lifting up the right leg, zipping up the core. And then taking the left arm off the mat when you feel ready, if you feel ready. Press through the back heel, press through the fingertips. Deep breathing. And zip up the pelvic floor, Mula Bandha's active. And then as you exhale, let's place the left palm back down. Drop the sole of the foot onto the mat, and then the other side opens up. Gaze up to the fingertips, press through the fingers, press through the toes. Reaching the fingers to the sky. And then, if it feels good to you, you can take the right arm over your right ear, reaching towards the top of the mat. But really have this sense that you're opening the heart to the sky. And then exhale, release. Coming back, place the knees onto the mat. And then come and find your child's pose. Come back to your breath. Counting your breath to that count of 4. And same count out. Checking the Mula Bandhas engaged, drawing the space up in towards the spine underneath the navel. Next inhale, placing the palms, lift yourself up. Let's come and find our first downward facing dog. So tucking the toes, lifting the buttocks to the sky, drop the head. So here, I'd really like you to think about sinking the heels towards the ground, pressing into the fingertips. Check the feet are hip width apart. Check the palms are shoulder width apart. Everything's active here. Then from here, let's just walk the hands back towards you, towards your feet, sorry. So you come and find a forward fold at the bottom of your mat. Catch opposite elbows, and then from here, let's just swing, just gently bringing some movement again. And then exhale, let's walk the palms back. And this time now, gazing towards the top of the mat, start to walk the feet, coming to the top of the mat, feet together or hip width apart, whatever feels good to you. And then gaze up, about halfway. So just placing the palms on the shins, gaze forward, straighten the spine, and think about the shoulder blades rolling down your back. As you exhale, bend into the knees as much as you need to keep the connection with the thighs. Drop the head. Maybe placing the fingertips or the palms onto the mat. Keep the neck nice and long. Here, rooting down through the soles of your feet. Prepare yourself, rooting into earth. Lifting up the pelvic floor, drawing in the belly. Start to activate the legs, pressing into all four corners of the feet, and come all the way up to stand. You can take the arms out nice and wide, bring the palms together if that feels comfortable to you, gazing to the backs of the thumbs, and then as you exhale, bringing the arms down, come and find your mountain pose, Tadasana. Let's just take a moment here. As we stand at the top of the mat, just feel the mat underneath the soles of your feet. Feel the weight of your body on your feet. And can you just balance into all four corners of the feet? Pressing down through the toes, through the heels, engaging the calf muscles, engaging the hamstrings, the thighs, the pelvic floor, the belly, drawing in. On your next inhale, let's take the arms out nice and wide. Take the fingers up overhead, and then as you exhale, sweeping the fingers to the ground. Halfway lift. Inhale, come up halfway. Then exhale, placing the palms. We'll step the feet back, find a plank pose. So feet are hip width apart, right foot, then the left foot. Pressing into the fingertips. Exhale, drop the knees. Same exhale, bend the elbows, lower the chest, and then the chin. Sweep through the arms, untuck the toes, straighten the arms and gaze up for cobra. Exhale, tucking the toes. Inhale, lift the buttocks, and exhale, sink the heels back to your downward facing dog. Breathe. Next inhale, gaze to the fingers, step or walk or hop, come to the top of the mat. Exhale here. Then as you inhale, halfway lift or Uttanasana. Exhale to forward fold or Uttanasana. Rooting down through the soles of the feet. Reach the fingertips up to the sky, gaze up. Then exhale, shoulders relaxed, arms down by the sides. Repeat, inhale, sweep the palms to the sky. Exhale, come into Uttanasana, forward fold. Halfway inhale, you can use the fingertips on the mat or shins, palms on the shins. Exhaling, placing the palms, step the right foot back. Left foot follows, feet hip width apart, knees, chest, chin, all on one exhale. Inhale to upward dog or cobra. So you can take the knees off the mat for upward dog. Then exhale, curling onto the toes, shooting the buttocks to the sky, sinking the heels to the ground. Drop the head, neck is nice and long. Bandha's active. Coming back to your breath. Gazing to the fingers on the next inhale. Step, jump, walk, find the top of the mat. Exhale there. Inhale, halfway lift, and then exhale, forward fold. One more time. Inhale, let's come all the way up. And exhale, arms down by the sides. Inhale, sweeping the fingers to the sky. Exhale, let's come through our last salutation. Halfway inhale, and then exhaling, placing the palms shoulder width apart, feet step back, hip width apart, plank pose. Then knees, chest, chin, or if you want to take it stronger, you can come into your chaturanga. Inhale to Bhujangasana or Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward facing dog. Then exhale to Ardha Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. So if your heels don't reach the ground, you can bend into the knees. Press firmly into the tips of the fingers. Stay with your breath wherever you are. So now we'll come through a series of balancing poses. So on your next inhale, let's take the right leg up to the sky. Try to keep the hips balanced, so square. Sinking the left heel down, shoulders nice and balanced. Then gazing towards the fingers. Actually, sorry, keep the gaze towards the toes. And we'll come through a tiger curl. So bend into the right knee and think about bringing the knee to the nose. Left heel lifts off the mat. Gaze down, step the right foot, heel, ball toe, if you can. As you inhale, squeezing the thighs, lifting up, take the arms up overhead for crescent pose. So really here, opening the heart, deeply rooted through the soles of your feet. Keep rooted. Then we're going to transition into our warrior 3 position. So stepping onto the right foot, you can either keep the arms forward in prayer or back. Wherever feels comfortable to you. Stay with your breath. Find the gaze. Finding your balance. Bending slightly into the right knee. Let's take the left leg. If you need to place it down, you can. Come all the way up. So options here, I'm just going to turn around. Options here. You can catch the knee, or if it's accessible to you, catch the toes. And then from here, as you inhale, extend the left leg. So if you're holding on to the knee, you just simply stay here. On the next exhale, we'll open the leg out to the side. So if your knee is bent, you just simply guide it to the side like so. If it's extended and you're holding onto the toe, keep rooted through the left leg, left standing leg, and maybe you can gaze over the right shoulder. So this is quite an advanced balance, so you might want to just gaze forward. Nice strong core, strong leg, rooted down. When you're ready to, bring it back to center, and let's just rest in a tree pose here. Place the sole of the foot onto the inner thigh. If it doesn't reach the inner thigh, you can place it onto the calf. Try to avoid the knee. Palms in the heart center. And as you inhale, if you feel comfortable, you can take the palms overhead. Then bringing the hands onto the hips, just going to turn again so you can see. We'll shoot the left leg behind. So at this point, maybe that right calf is really burning. If you need to take a moment, take it. Otherwise, catching the back of the, as top of the ankle or the foot, left foot now. Reach the right leg up, and we're going to move into Natarajasana or dancer pose. So here you want to find your gaze, something that's not moving, straight ahead in front of you. Rooting down through the foot, press the left foot into the left palm. And as you do so, the right arm is reaching forward, just to counter the balance. So if you fall out, you can just come back again. Then as you inhale, come back to the center, and if you can still manage, step that right foot back, place the palms, step both feet back, and come through a Vinyasa. Meeting back in downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths here. Then lifting the left leg. Keeping the hips square, shoulders square, nice and strong, pressing firmly into the tips of the fingers. The tips of the fingers are white. The right heel is sinking down. Belly is sucked in. Gaze to the fingers. Step the left foot through. Check the knees over the ankle. And then on an inhale, you're going to come all the way up. Lift that left heel off the mat nice and high. And then exhale into the hips. Still left knee is over the ankle. Opening the heart space. Gaze up. So getting really strong in the left leg. Bringing the arms down by the sides. Stepping up onto the left leg, and we'll find our warrior 3. From here, sweeping the right leg through, up towards you, catch the knee. So from here, rooting down through the standing leg, take the left hand onto the left hip, either catching the knee or the toes. Maybe extending the left leg if that feels good to you before you, the right leg, open out to the right side. Turning the gaze only if it feels good to you. On an inhale, let's come back to center. Bend into that right knee if it's not already, and place the sole of the foot for your tree pose. Palms together, heart center, root down through the standing leg. Nothing can get in between your mat and your foot. The right foot is glued to the left thigh. Really strong rooted tree. Opening out the branches only when it feels good to you. Breathe. Then we'll transition in towards our dancer pose. So bringing the hands down by your sides, turning the knee to the top of the mat, then catching the foot or the ankle. Still rooted, still grounded through the standing leg. Lift the left palm to the sky, and then just exhale. Press the right foot into the arm, into the palm. And as you do this, you start to tilt forward, reach the left arm, find your gaze. It's all about the gaze with the balance. The strength in the core and your soft gaze. Then on an inhale, release the pose. Maybe if you still have some strength left, extend the right leg and come through your warrior three. Place the palms, place the feet, and come through your last vinyasa. Exhaling, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhale for upward dog or cobra. Exhale to downward dog. And then from your downward dog here, let's just drop onto our knees, sit back onto the heels, find your child's pose, Tadasana. Soften your whole body. Come back to your breath. Okay, so placing the palms underneath the shoulders, let's lift ourselves up, take the hands behind your back, and we'll extend the legs out in front. So coming to sit down, maybe just moving the fleshy parts of the buttocks away from the sit bones, point the toes towards you. On an inhale, let's lift both arms up to the sky. Just gaze up, don't worry about where you're going. As you exhale, just start to bow forward. Catch wherever you land, maybe the shins, the ankles, the edges of the feet. Straighten the spine again, gaze up, draw everything in, so the belly's drawn in, lifting the pelvic floor, and then as you exhale, forward fold again. Bend into the knees if you need. If the hamstrings feel really tight, you can bend them as much as you need. Use the breath. Each exhale taking you a little bit deeper into your seated forward fold, Uttanasana. And when you're ready to slowly walking the hands back towards you, we'll place the palms now just up behind your hips. So we'll come into those who are familiar, we'll come into Vadokonasana. Otherwise I'm going to take it step by step, bend into the knees, feet hip width apart. And we'll just come into that reverse tabletop position. So taking the buttocks off the mat and think about balancing something on your belly. You can drop the head completely if that feels good to you for your neck. And for those who are more advanced, you can extend the legs and find your reverse plank. On an exhale, lower the buttocks down. We'll bring the soles of the feet together for Vadokonasana or butterfly pose. Inhale, then use the exhale to bring the forehead towards the toes. And then slowly coming out of your butterfly, help the knees together if you need, and we'll come onto our backs. So bending into the knees, shifting the buttocks towards the heels, come all the way down. So just letting all of that go, let's come into temple pose. Just take the feet a little bit wider than the hips. Knock the knees into one another. Just check that the sacrum, the tailbone, nice and flat underneath your back. Place the right palm onto the belly, left onto the heart space. Let's bring your awareness to the palm of the right hand. Just feel the softness of your belly as you breathe. Just observing this rise and fall. Awareness comes to the palm of the left hand. Maybe you can feel your heartbeat. Maybe you can hear it. Just for a few moments here, connecting to your heart space. And then removing the palms from your body. Let's take the arms out to the sides, maybe about a foot away from your body. Whatever feels comfortable to you. Just make sure that the shoulder blades are tucked under nicely. And the sacrum and the tailbone, extending the legs. Soften your whole body now. Releasing your legs, releasing the hips, the shoulders. Gently close the eyes if they're not already. And allow the breath to come back to its natural rhythm. Soft, shallow breath. So for the next few minutes, I'd like you to find complete stillness in your corpse pose, Shavasana. Let go of your body. Let go of your breath. Let go of anything that is not this moment. Bringing your awareness to the space in the center of your forehead, between your eyebrows, the third eye chakra. Focus your attention here and release anything that is not this space. Soften your face, soften the fingertips. Simply release. Allowing your body to melt into the earth. So take a few deep breaths, coming back to your body. Bringing some soft movements into the fingers, into the toes. Maybe you have an urge to stretch through the whole body. Let's bring the knees into the chest. Give yourself a big hug. Just take a moment to acknowledge this gift of yoga, of this practice that you have just given yourself. And rolling onto one side, come and find a fetal position, maybe staying there for a few breaths. Using your arms, start to lift yourself up and make your way back onto your mat. Finding a comfortable seat. Just rooting down through the sit bones, feeling now deeply connected to the earth, to all that is beneath you. Begin to grow your spine up towards the sky, keeping the shoulders relaxed, the crown of the head lifting and opening, receiving from above. And observe your body that sits in this perfect space. That is a channel for the energies from below and from above to move through. And now let's bring the palms, connecting the palms, the two hemispheres of your brain, the masculine, the feminine, connecting into the center of your being. Just take a moment of gratitude now. Finding the space of perfect balance through this practice, through your body, through your intention. Together now, we'll take a deep breath in through the nose. And as you bow, exhale, Namaste. Coming up, releasing the palms when you're ready to, opening the eyes. Thank you for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of day.